Be clean next time I go in there.
I'll get to it, Dad. I promise.
This ain't my getting around to it tone, you understand?
Ugh. Fine, okay. I'm going. Ahoy, Captain!
I've got some stuff on my mind when you have the time. You know, the way you handle things. You got time for a quick chat? I'd appreciate it when you're able.
Morale in the lodge has been measurably reduced.
I need everyone looking out for each other during this time. Losses hit a small group like ours, especially.
The lodge feels a little colder than it used to.
Constellation is no stranger to loss. Our own founder left on an expedition and never returned. It is easy to talk about the glory and excitement of breaching into the unknown, of lighting the darkness. But it is harder to stare into the face of the cost. That all of our progress is built on top of the lives of those who dared. And that we owe them the courage to continue our work in their memory.
Thank you, Sarah. If anyone else would like to say a few words. Thank you. If anyone else wants to say something. I hope this is all okay. Between fixing things up and sending out messengers and getting all the paperwork done, it's not much. I haven't really been sleeping much. I'm not having the best dreams right now. No, it's fine. Sorry, if I talk any longer, I'm gonna start crying. Could you excuse me?
I thought maybe I would come up with something to say, but I've got nothing. So, instead, I thought I would quote something.
I don't believe we've met. Ajay Mamasa, former chair of Constellation. I wish the circumstances of my visit
The more
were
proper
better.
question would be, is reality divine? Existence itself
Unfortunately,
is a mystery which
this
yearns
isn't the
to be
first Constellation funeral I've been
What
to.
is goodness but a
After 35
comparison
years,
to the good?
you say goodbye to a
What
lot of
is
friends.
existence but a
I hope you don't mind me saying,
in being?
but I feel numb
Where
just
the
thinking about
diversity
it.
of the universe
I was the
inspires
one who
awe and
invited
wonder,
Barrett to join.
it exists only
Ah,
in contrast
He
to
was
a
so
simplicity
brilliant,
so pure
even if the
that
rest
it
of us
may
couldn't
only
always
be
keep
understood
up.
as primordial and even divine. Our essence,
Ah, yes.
what was imagined
I
by its
officiated
mind,
his wedding.
but what
Ah,
we consider
Young
imagining
Irvin.
and what we
I
consider
told him he
mind
was signing up for
are
a
in
lot
fact
with
so
Barrett,
far
but he
beyond
didn't
our
care.
understanding.
I bet relationships in Constellation are still messy, aren't they?
We're like the tiny white
We're more of
ants
a family than an
on a
organization.
massive searching sea.
All the former lines
more, but
bleed together. It makes the
Those are the
losses
parts that
sting
speak to me
harder.
the most.
But I hope it means the time you had together was all the more important.
Thank you.
That's how I like to think of it. Anyway,
Thank you. Does anyone else want to say anything?
he never mentioned that. I suppose he didn't want to talk about it after what happened. The colony war took so much from us all. Exactly the same as when you met him, I bet. All smiles. Saying just the wrong thing at just the right time. You don't mentor someone like Barrett as much as you let him go and try to contain the damage later, eh? Oh, yes. I was Sebastian Banks's protege, if that gives you any idea of how long I was part of our little club. Knew him, argued with him, tried to carry on his memory when he vanished. Sebastian will be back tomorrow, we always used to say. It reminded us that he was still here, in the bones of this old building.
It almost feels wrong to be grieving. Selfish. No amount of tears will bring the dead back. It's just easier to feel guilty, if you'll excuse me.
It seems so redundant with how I live. But death is one of those occasions where it's hard not to look inward. Our friend is gone. There's no afterlife or second meetings. No God in heaven that is curating a perfect ending for them. So it's up to us. We are what lives on. If the pain of loss inspires us to greater action, then that is the good that comes from all this. Humanity is what truly creates our world. We are the ones that judge things to be good or evil, joyful or mournful. Let us take responsibility for it. Let us remember what we have lost.
Walter, are you part of the House of Enlightenment? I never knew that.
Yes, well, I like to keep some things private. However, I know Barrett would have appreciated the sentiment. Chat for a bit? Normally, I hate talking to people at funerals, but, well... You don't believe in the afterlife, do you? I mean, this might be the worst time to bring it up, but... Yes. Won't we all? Well, I've taken up enough of your time.
Hey, how are you holding up? It's not really going to hit me until later. Right now, I just need everyone else to be okay. Take some time for yourself, okay? Plenty of rooms to sit down in if you need to be alone for a while. We'll get through this. It might feel like everything's falling apart, but that's why we need to stick together. We all have to get through this our own way. Don't worry about me. Really, I'll be fine. There's something I need to talk to you about. A loss is always hard. Constellation will get through this together, like always. Take care of yourself. I'll be fine. Don't worry about me.
By the Three-Star Collective's ragtag fleet, both sides decided the time had come to bring the colony war to an
I'm pleased to report that our stocks are currently... Welcome to UC... Oh, well, certainly. Right. Come back if you need something else.
Be careful if you run into those ecliptic jerks.
Bobby, we're gonna give our son.
I had this grab job.
Nobody sees the ambassador without an appointment, and you don't have one.
Visitors? We don't get very many visitors here. You'll need to Unfortunately, I'm not authorized to make appointments myself.
Ever run into spacers?
You talk and get paid. I spread the news. You certainly get around. I'm surprised that branch has any customers left the number of times it's been held up. But I thought the Rangers had finally managed to get a handle on it. I heard there was a standoff. That true? I hear the robbers are provided free of charge. All part of the service. What happened to the robbers? The Shaw gang? Wait, what? You cleaned them out? Jesus. I'm sorry, but I might have to dig up some witnesses to confirm that. Anyway, these things are often messy. Any customers or Galbank staff get hurt? That's really good news. Usually, well, it's a different kind of story. You were there. You were involved in resolving it. Any comment on the Freestar Rangers? Having another high-profile robbery in their own backyard is a bit of a black eye. Got it. Stories like this always fire up public outrage and appetite. Thanks for the interview. And take this. My source is back. Here to report anything else? I already interviewed an ex-pirate about the robbery. But she was as reliable as good coffee around here. So you were there when it went down? What were you doing there? Well then, let's continue, Mr. Not Really Relevant. Tell me about this Captain Petrov. I've heard he was a bit of an eccentric. What was your impression of him? You did meet him before he died? I would have loved to have seen it. I'm sure it would make a good story right there. No one seems to know exactly what was stolen, but everyone agrees it was valuable. Care to shed some light on it? I don't blame you. Last question. About, and I'm quoting, a zoo gone wild. The other source swore up and down that alien creatures got out of their cages and went on a rampage. Please, please, please tell me she was telling the truth. It's got to be some Aurora-induced hallucination. You mean besides the ratings? I just want to live in a galaxy where eccentric millionaires have out-of-control zoos. But, just give it to me straight. Zoo. Fact or fiction? Some days, it is worth it to get out of bed. I love it. This is just a plain old good story. Check the newsfeed for it later. And here's your payment. If you have a news story for me? What a sordid mess. You've got some other sources we've been interviewing, but I'd love to get your take on the record. So there was a mercenary company, the First, and they were involved in taking farmlands from Freestar Collective families. Extortion, death threats, murder, all of it. Is that right? I genuinely don't know how people like that can live with themselves. So all of that? Terrible. But Ron Hope, the Ron Hope, was involved with it at the highest level. All of that suffering was a plot to save Hope Tech from going under using the side effects of a fertilizer he developed. Let me be blunt. The other sources say you killed Ron Hope. Is that correct? Most Rangers don't take down one of the Council of Governors, though. After all of that, the future of Hope Tech is an open question. Their stock has already taken a beating. Not sure if it's going to go into freefall. Any comment? For what it's worth, I'm rooting for them too. Thanks. If you listen to the news, you'll definitely hear this. And, maybe try not to ice any more CEOs. Just a thought.
If you ever find yourself with a hot lead, we will do our best to protect your energy.